The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our new Technology in Laundry Equipment webinar produced by Alliance Laundry Systems SpeedQueen. Thank you for joining us. You should be able to hear us now. If you're having any kind of hearing issues, we'll show you what you need to do on the GoToWebinar participant panel. It's important to note that a recording of this webinar will be sent to all registrations within the next 48 hours. So you will receive, much like your confirmation emails you received when you registered for the webinar, you will get another email within 48 hours with the recording, as well as a survey and the links that we talk about here in the call today. If you're having any kind of sound issues, please make sure you utilize the GoToWebinar participant window to select the correct settings. We do recommend the use of computer audio because it is the most clear, but if you are using phone audio, that is appropriate, that does work. Make sure you have the correct devices selected if you're using computer audio in both specifically in your speakers. We also have two handouts available to download in the handouts portion. We have a brochure for Quantum Touch, as well as a brochure for SpeedQueen Insights. So feel free to download those at your leisure. And any kind of information you have for us, questions, comments, or concerns, please put those in the question box at the bottom of your GoToWebinar participant window. So, my name is Dustin Smith. If you've joined any of our webinars that we've put on in the last 6 months, you've probably seen this face. I'm so sorry. The beard is growing in a little bit better, so you're welcome, everyone. I'm the Customer Learning and Development Manager for Alliance Laundry Systems, so anything that has to do with learning and development when it comes to our distributors, their technicians, salespeople, anything, I'm here to support all of the from the sale to the after sale element for our customers. And on the phone with us today, we have Aubrey Polish. Aubrey, what is your job title?
My current job title is Sales Development Manager. So I manage Midwest and West Coast. And
what is your history at Alliance Laundry Systems?
So I have been lucky to be with Alliance for a little over 8 years now. I actually started in our finance department, so I spent some time underwriting laundry equipment loans. I spent some time doing corporate marketing, also a little bit of time doing store level marketing and helping with store level operations. And my most recent role prior to sales was as part of our technology engagement team, so helping store owners with the implementation of our SpeedQueen Insights technology.
Very good. So you are a great subject matter expert to have on this call because you've done technology quite a bit in the last year or two, right?
Yes.
Absolutely. And more importantly, are you wearing sweatpants?
Work from home life, Dustin.
Very good. I'm sure you're not alone on this phone call. So it is important that we cover rules here. We're going to turn off our cameras at this point just so you can have more screen real estate on the presentation. We'll turn our cameras on again towards the end. We're just going to go through some quick rules here. Microphones will be muted for the duration of the presentation. We encourage you to ask questions and participate. If you ask a question about what we're talking about in that moment, I may interrupt Aubrey and have her answer that question. If you ask it and it's a little too far, we'll save it for the end. And if it's very specific, we may have to follow up with you, or your distributor will follow up with you afterwards. And we ask that everyone please participate. There are going to be a few polls and videos. So we want this to be a great use of your time. And again, we thank you very much for joining us today. So I'm going to hand her off to Aubrey.
Awesome. Thank you, Dustin. So as Dustin said, we do want to make this as interactive as possible. So whenever you see these types of slides, just note that there is going to be some type of activity that will be asking for some participation. So be on the lookout for these slides. So before we dive into today's topic of technology in laundromats, we wanted to take a step back. So over the next couple of seconds, you're going to see a couple of well-known brands come across your screen. And I'd actually love to know how many of our participants today owned a BlackBerry phone at what point.
Everyone who's lucky.
So the reality is technology changing industries is not a new concept. It just seems newer in the laundry industry. So when you look at all of those different brands that we saw, we want you to think about, what do they all have in common? Justin, what do you think?
Well, they are, what is the word I used yesterday when we talked? I can't even remember. Defunct? Vicus says they didn't adapt. Ken says they're all dead. Some of them still exist. There's actually one Blockbuster store that still exists somewhere in like Vermont or something. And BlackBerry actually makes Android phones now. So it's a little all over the place. But they definitely, I would say, a failure to innovate is what made them not work in the long term in a growing, when things are shifting in marketplaces. And in Blockbuster's case, they have completely, that whole business practice of renting videos in a brick and mortar store doesn't exist anymore. The whole industry is gone.
Right, and the irony is they actually had the opportunity to buy Netflix, I believe, at some point, and
they did.
Was it Netflix?
Yeah, it was Netflix, and it was for a really cheap price, and they didn't do it.
Yeah, so we really want you guys to think kind of big picture and maybe expand your horizons as you think about technology as a whole, and just remember that technology is changing industries every day, and that is happening in the laundromat industry as well. So we kind of want to give you a high-level overview of some of the different topics that we're going to talk about today. So we're going to kick it off by touching on levels of technology. So when we say levels of technology, we want to spend some time explaining the different options that we have available to you. So we want to make sure that everybody walks away from this webinar knowing that it is not one size fits all. So we have a bunch of different technology solutions available through SpeedQueen, and based on whatever your current needs are or your plans are for future growth, there could be different pieces of the technology that fit you. So first, I want to introduce the SpeedQueen Quantum Touch Control, which is available on both washers and dryers. As you can see, it comes with a color touch screen, which is user-friendly. It is available in multiple languages and even has operating instructions built right in, so no need for signage within the store. With the Quantum Touch Control, owners can customize cycles, they have unique cycle modifiers, and we even have a unique speed cycle option available to get customers in and out. So at the end of the day, with our Quantum Touch Control, it provides an amazing customer experience for both you guys as store owners as well as for your laundromat customers. Outside of the control, SpeedQueen also has a management platform called SpeedQueen Insights, which is available in multiple different levels. So the most basic version is what we call networking only. So what that means is your machines are wirelessly connected and sending information to the cloud. And then you as store owners can access that information at any point in time from either the SpeedQueen Insights website or the store owner app. The second level of technology is our mobile pay. So this would be an app for your laundromat customers to download. So basically when they download the app, they can add money to their account and pay for machines. So it offers you the ability to know who your customers are. You can offer rewards programs. And for your customers, they can earn points, and they also can have the ability to have contactless. And as we all know, with the current COVID-19 environment and quarter shortage, there's been a big push for both of those things. A way to pay without quarters, as well as to have contactless payment, which our app does a great job of solving that problem. The next level of technology is our CRM, which is our customer relationship management. So essentially what this allows you to do is first and foremost, filter your laundromat customers based on their behaviors. So for example, you can look at customers specifically that come to your store primarily on Saturdays. The other thing that you can do is send in-app messages, email messages, and text messages right through the platform, as well as set up promo codes and do new customer acquisition marketing. The final piece of our technology is the POS, which stands for point of sale system. This is a great solution for any of you guys that are doing wash, dry, fold, or looking to add wash, dry, fold, because it allows all parts of your laundry business to be consolidated into one platform. So when you add the networking, the app payment, the CRM, and the POS technology together, that is what we call the full technology suite. So if you guys have ever seen that in our marketing or anyone talk about that, what that is all levels of the technology combined. But keep in mind, you don't have to have all levels. You can have different levels based on whatever your needs are. So now that we've talked a little bit about the different levels and options of technology, we want to spend a couple of minutes talking about SpeedQueen specifically and stats regarding our technology. So it's great to have technology, but everyone is starting to come out with technology, right? There's a lot of other manufacturers as well as third-party systems. So what is SpeedQueen's share of the market? So SpeedQueen originally launched Insights at the end of 2017 with our networking-only solution. Over the past 2 years, as you can see, we've continued to invest a lot of resources into developing new pieces of technology like the app, the point of sale system, the CRM, as well as adding additional features to our technology. So what does that look like out in the fields? So from a store perspective, in the United States, we currently have 289, and that number is even a little outdated, laundromats utilizing our technology. Getting a little bit more granular, that's over 42,000 machines networked or connected on our technology platform. What I think is the most compelling stat out of all of this, we have over 240,000 people who have downloaded the app and are paying for their laundry with their phone. So stop and think about that for a second. We hear often that laundromat customers either don't have smartphones or would never pay with their smartphone. That is not the case. We already have 240,000 people doing it. And the reality is, when you think about it, a laundromat is not the only retail experience that your customer is going to. And there's more and more retailers that are pushing customers to use a mobile phone. The other thing that I want to have you guys take a second to think about from a technology standpoint, when you're making an investment in your business, especially if it's a technology investment, you're investing in not only today's customers, but your future customers. So think about anyone you know who is 25 or younger. Odds are they've had a smartphone, probably an iPhone, since they were in grade school, and they've used a touch screen on everything. Remember, those are going to be your primary customers in 5, 10, 15 years. So just make sure as you're watching this presentation and considering technology to implement in your store, that technology is catering not only to your customers today, but your customers that you're going to have over the next 10, 15 years.
And I think it's important to note that the original iPhone came out in 2007, which seems both like not that long ago and a long time ago, but it's only been 13 years. And look at what the difference is in adoption rates of that kind of technology and where things are really at technology-wise and how we interact with that. So if you go, you want your equipment to last many years within your laundromats. You don't want to have to constantly be trying to make changes to keep up. So you want to make sure your solutions are future-proof and your equipment's future-proof so you can grow naturally. Yeah.
So now that we've talked a little bit about stats from a SpeedQueen perspective, we're going to get into the meat of the presentation. And I think this is the fun part for this afternoon. So now that we've talked a little bit about the different technology solutions, we're going to spend some time meeting our 5 new friends for the afternoon. As you can see from their facial expressions, they're not overly thrilled. What you'll see is each of these 5 people have some common pain points. And you guys may be able to relate to some of these different pain points. They're common things that come up when talking to people within the industry, new investors. So we're going to take some time getting to know each of these different people and what their scenarios are. So the first person we're going to meet is Antonio. Antonio may be like some of you guys on the call. He acquired a laundromat that has some older SpeedQueen equipment. And while aesthetically the laundromat looks pretty decent, what he's found after owning and operating it for a couple of months is his utility costs are outrageous. It's costing him a lot of money. On average, his utilities are running at 25 to 30% of his gross revenue. So Antonio, although he likes the business, he's excited to be in the industry, he's finding that his biggest pain point is having inefficient equipment. The next person that we're going to meet is Sunny. So Sunny's owned and operated a laundromat for a little while. Her business model is she runs an attended store and she offers wash, dry, fold. What she's found to be one of her biggest challenges is her labor. Not only is her labor one of her biggest expenses, but as she's investing time and resources into labor, she finds that it's difficult to hire people, train, and then retain people. So Sunny's biggest pain point is her labor issues. Next up, we're going to meet Michael. So Michael might be like some of you guys. He currently owns and operates 2 laundromats, and he just found a great location to open his 3rd store. What he's finding, though, is he doesn't think he can grow as fast or as large as he wants to simply because he doesn't have enough time. Between running to the store to do quarter collections, take care of customer service issues, trying to manage the back-end operations and accounting, he just doesn't think he can grow like he wants to because he doesn't have enough time in the day. Next up is Jasmine. So Jasmine recently retooled her laundromat with brand new quantum gold equipment. She's loving the impact it's had on her business, but the other thing that it did is it inspired one of her nearest competitors to retool. So Jasmine wants to make sure that she has a good way to not only retain her existing customers, but continue to attract new ones. So we say that Jasmine wants to keep up with the Joneses or stay relevant with her competition. The last person we're going to meet this afternoon is Mark. So Mark may be like some of you guys also on the call. He's a new investor. At this point, he doesn't own a laundromat, but he's done his due diligence. He's worked closely with his distributor, and he thinks he has a location. He just wants to make sure that his location can ramp as fast as possible. So one of the things that he wants to do is make sure that he adds wash, dry, fold to explore all the different revenue potentials. So Mark is a new investor who's, like many people, looking to maximize revenue. So now that we've met our 5 friends with different pain points, we have our very first activity for the day.
And my mute was on. So we would like to know which of these people, these personas, you relate to the most. And you can select more than one. So is it Sunny with labor issues, Antonio with inefficient equipment, Jasmine with keeping up with the Joneses, Michael with not having enough time, and Mark, who's a new investor and looking to maximize his revenue? So a lot of people, we generally on these webinars have very diverse crowds, so we're super interested to know the kind of issues that you're experiencing as store owners. And so far, we have about 36% voting in.
Don't all answer at once.
Get those answers in. We will be closing the poll here in a few seconds. And we're done. So let's look at our results.
Ooh.
So it's definitely all over the place. It looks like there's a lot of new investor in maximizing revenue. We have some not enough time. Every laundromat owner I've ever talked to has always complained about the amount of time it takes to manage multiple stores. So
these are exciting results.
They are. And so I think it's important that we spend time looking at what technology could do to help solve these very common pain points in the laundromat industry. Aubrey?
Awesome. Yes. So as we talked about in the very beginning, remember, it's not one size fits all. So we're going to walk through these different scenarios and show you how different pieces of the technology can solve these different issues. But knowing that the common pain point that everybody on this call mostly relates to is being able to maximize the return, we'll make sure to spend a little bit of extra time focusing on how all of these different technology solutions can help you with that. So the first one we're going to go back to is Antonio. So if you recall, Antonio's biggest pain point was his inefficient equipment. So Antonio decided to work with his local distributor, and his distributor worked with him to put together a replacement tool analysis. So basically showing him the impact of trading out his existing 15-plus-year-old SpeedQueen equipment for brand new Quantum Touch equipment. So the analysis does a good job of showing the decrease in utility expenses from that trade out. It also does a good job of showing his increased revenue, and then showing him the savings he would have from a maintenance perspective, and then giving that overall view. So when you think about the revenue side of it specifically, when Antonio traded out his equipment, he found that to be the perfect time to do two things. First, he increased his base cycle prices by 25 cents because he had new equipment. But the other thing that he did was he really leveraged the Quantum Touch cycle modifiers, which do a really great job of explaining the different options and justifying why a customer may want to pay 25 cents more for one cycle versus the other. He also got a brand new 5-year warranty with his Quantum Touch equipment. So when you break that down, from a profitability standpoint, he had an additional $2,700 per month in profitability, and that more than covered his monthly finance note with SpeedQueen Finance. The other thing that Antonio really liked as far as the control is the language options. So half of Antonio's customers speak Spanish. So what he did was he actually defaulted half of his machines to Spanish, and customers can very easily select that language icon to switch over languages based on what's the best fit for them. The other feature that Antonio really likes about the Quantum Touch equipment is right at the control, he has all of his audit information. So in the past where he was trying to guess which buttons he needed to press to figure out audit data and what error codes meant, as you can see right at the control, he has all of the information that he needs to help improve his operational efficiency. The next person we're going to talk about is Sunny. So if you recall, Sunny was the one who had wash, dry, fold at her store and had an attended store, and one of her biggest pain points was labor. So Sunny talked to a couple of different laundromat owners, and she decided to add SpeedQueen Insights. So if you recall, that's having her machines wirelessly networked, sending information to the cloud. Now she can access that information at any point in time from the owner portal, which is the website, or the store owner app. What Sunny really loves is the owner portal. And the reason why is, first and foremost, at any point in time, she's able to log into the owner portal. When she logs in, the first thing that she sees is all of her information right at her fingertips. So there's interactive charts showing revenue, turns per day. It also shows a breakdown of her different machines. So she can see specifically which machines are generating the most revenue, which machines are getting used the most, and she can use that data. The next part of the portal that she really likes is the Employees tab. So within the Employees tab, this is where she can click over to security, and she can set up custom credential levels based on the different people she's giving access to. So for example, if she has certain new employees that she maybe trusts less than others, she can set up a custom credential level and really limit the different things within the portal that her employees can use or see. Once she set up those different credential levels, she can then add as many users as she wants and assign them the credential levels. And at any point in time, if she needs to delete the users or change their security settings, she can very easily do that. The other part that both her and her employees love and has really helped give her employees a lot of job satisfaction is utilizing the Machines tab. So within the Machines tab, she typically has a portal right at the store that her attendants log into. And this is where she, on the go, or her attendants within the store can see real time what's happening with the machine. They can click on a specific machine and do remote commands. So things like start a machine for a wash, dry, fold order, clear a partial vent, essentially things in the past where she had to be involved in, or she had to, she couldn't really trust them with. Now they have more autonomy in their job, and she has full visibility to everything that they're doing. The next part that she really loves is the resource tab. So basically within Insights, she can click on the resource tab, and there's step-by-step instructions and videos that provide a great resource for her and her employees from a training perspective. So not only does she have more job satisfaction and autonomy with the employees themselves, training has become much easier through SpeedQueen Insights. Next, we're going to jump over to Michael. So if you recall, Michael has 2 stores. He found location number 3, but just hasn't had enough time. So what Michael did after talking to his local distributor is he decided to add SpeedQueen Insights plus the next level up, so including the app for his laundromat customers. The app has been a great addition. Now, instead of doing a bunch of order collections, he's converted most of his customers to use the app. It's really simple for them to simply download. The very first time they set up their account, they add his location, and it's very intuitive for them to use. So they can add funds using multiple different options. He can advertise rewards programs right within the app, and they can use the app to start machines. So it provides a competitive advantage in having a contactless payment option. The customers select their cycles, and then they pay right at the machine. The only button that they have to interact at the machine with is by pressing start. They also get a text or email notification or in-app notification 3 minutes before the cycle is complete. So it's also helped increase Michael's throughput, especially on busy weekends. The other part that Michael really likes that's given him more time in the day is the store owner app. So while Michael's running from store to store, he very easily can log into his own app where he can do things on the go. So he also has access to the Insights website, but the app gives him a really user-friendly format to do things like see real-time the machine usage in the store and take care of issues on the go. So between the Insights website and the remote management, the store owner app, and the consumer app, Michael's been able to get enough time back in his day to move forward with opening store number 3. The next customer we're going to jump to is Jasmine. So if you remember, Jasmine recently retooled with brand new quantum gold equipment. Her nearest competitor also decided to retool, so she decided that she needed a good way to stay relevant and attract and retain customers. So Jasmine decided to go with our Insights technology, but she added one more level, which is that CRM feature. So she uses all the different parts, but her favorite part is the CRM portal. So what it means is when she logs into SpeedQueen Insights, she can see everything that everybody else could see, but she also has access to this new CRM tab. Within the tab, she can very easily manage all of her marketing and be really effective with her marketing. So the first thing that she does is she chooses her store location. She then can filter her existing customers based on their behavior. So for example, she can look at all the customers who haven't been to the store in a month, who've maybe left to try her competitor. She can then send really, really specific and targeted messages to those customers to try and win them back. So now her marketing messaging is getting way more targeted and effective. The other thing that she can do is really effective new customer acquisition marketing. So meaning reaching customers she's never met before. To do this, within the CRM portal, she can go ahead and create a promotion. So the promotion can be for discounts, credits, rewards points. Once she's created that promotion, she can then start advertising that promo code into different avenues like Facebook, direct mailers, door hangers, and then she can actually track how effective it is. She also can use the CRM to do email marketing and text message marketing, and it actually tracks the ROI of the campaign. So she can see she sent this email to over 1,000 people, and at the end of the day, it had 11 people come back in to redeem the promotion code. So not only is her marketing really effective as far as engaging with existing customers, but she can be really smart with her marketing spend to reach new customers. So the last person we're going to talk about is Mark. So Mark, like many of you, he's a new investor who's looking to maximize the return on investment. So Mark decided to go with all the different levels of our technology plus our point of sale system. So if you recall, when you add all of those different things together, that's what we refer to as our full technology suite. So Mark's leveraging all the different features we already talked about, but what he really loves is how easy our point of sale system has been to integrate his wash, dry, fold business. So first and foremost, the setup has been really easy for him. Within the Insights website, he has access to this retail tab. Within the retail tab, that's where it's his one-stop shop to set everything up, whether it be over-the-counter items or his different services available within Wash, Dry, Fold. Services meaning what he's charging, so whether he has everything set up as a price per pound, or if he has flat rate pricing, or if he has cycle upsells through the point of sale system. So he simply sets everything up right through the Insights portal. Then in the store itself, they utilize the iPad, which runs our software. So I'll take you through a sample transaction. So a new guest comes in, his attendant takes the guest's information. Then this guest has some wash, dry, fold items. So go ahead and click the wash, dry, fold. Then all of these different buttons reflect the pricing that Mark sets up. So he sets the items on the weight and pulls the weight. Then he's able to add additional items right to the basket. So let's say that this customer also had a comforter, which Mark charges a flat rate for. So go ahead and add that to the basket as well. Then Mark's attendant can click on over to the cart, where you can see on the right-hand side, this is where there is, similar to cycle modifiers, the ability to upsell right through our point of sale system. The point of sale system is really cool in that you also can do things like start machines from there. If you have customers who would prefer to pay via credit card, you can add over-the-counter goods, and then you can also integrate that promotion code marketing piece of it. So if your customers have promo codes, you can pull that into the point of sale system too. So leveraging all the different pieces of the full technology suite, as well as new Quantum Touch equipment, Mark's found that he's been able to ramp his store much faster than he expected and really get the return on the investment that he was looking for. So now that we've walked through all the different solutions, we're going to do our second activity of the day, so another poll.
Yes. So now that we have covered all of these, we would like to know which of the technology features that we've covered you feel would actually have the most impact on your current business. So it could be, you can choose all that apply. It could be one, it could be two, it could be all of them. So Aubrey, while people are answering this question, I want to ask a question from the audience. Robin asked, does the app offer different languages? So does it support different kinds of languages?
Yeah, that's a really exciting feature of the app we didn't even talk about. So it is available in 14 different languages. And the really cool thing is, if, say, for example, your customers primarily speak Spanish, so their phone is set up in Spanish, when they download the app, it will just show up in whatever language their phone is defaulted to.
Sure. Well, let's see what people think.
Ooh, mobile app with a high score.
So we have a mix all over the place. A lot of mobile pay, which is definitely a strong point in the system. And secondly, we have the CRM, Customer Relationship Manager, and following up with the point of sale, networking, and Quantum Touch. So very awesome. Thank you very much for your interactivity, guys.
All right. So now that we've talked about the different levels of technology, we want to spend some time talking about implementation. So how difficult or how easy is it to add this technology? The reality is it's pretty simple. So first, we're going to talk about SpeedQueen Insights, specifically networking. So as long as you have SpeedQueen Quantum Gold equipment 2012 or newer, you have the capability of adding insights. So to set up insights, each machine or each machine pocket needs a network board. Our new Quantum Touch equipment comes with the network boards factory installed. With Quantum Gold equipment 2012 and newer, you have the capability of adding those after the fact. And it really is plug and play. So there's no drilling of holes, nothing of that nature. You simply just need the network boards in the machines. Then each laundry room needs a gateway or gateways, depending on how many machine pockets there are. And finally, from an annual fee perspective, our networking solution is free. So I would definitely consider, if you are considering any technology, it's worth adding our networking solution because it does give you that peace of mind, convenience, and connectivity to your store without any annual fees. And it can even be a great supplement to other third-party technologies if you're considering those.
Right. When you're thinking about making really smart decisions on using data from your store, the system is really awesome, and for error management as well. So being able to be notified if there's any equipment errors and stuff like that. For a nominal charge at $0 per year. I think that's a big benefit.
Yep, it definitely can have an impact on the business. So next, jumping to the next level of technology, which is our mobile pay. So an area that a lot of you guys are interested in. So you would still need network boards and gateways. From an additional hardware standpoint, typically you need one additional gateway per room. You also will need QR code stickers, one per pocket of machine, which SpeedQueen will send out to you. And then we do have signage that we will also send out to you. And our signage is available in English, Spanish, or dual language, depending on what is your primary customer base. If you decided to add our CRM technology, there is no additional hardware requirements. So you would still need those gateways, those network boards, everything you would need for the app. And then you would get access to the CRM tab within Insights. And that's where you set up all of your campaigns, and you also have the capability of tracking everything right through the CRM tab. So with our CRM, there is an annual fee. It's actually $49 per month that gets charged annually, but it does give you unlimited text, email, and in-app usage. So there's no limits or charge per message send. You can send as many or as few messages as you want through our system. And the last, so if you added our point of sale system on top of that, which again is our full technology suite. So our point of sale system does run on an iPad. You can see the software here. So you do need additional hardware, which includes the iPad. Outside of that iPad, there is some additional hardware, including a scale, a cash drawer, a receipt printer, a scanner. The nice thing that is unique about our point of sale system is we've built a lot of flexibility in that we give you a recommended list of hardware. Some of the items are required, like an iPad, the receipt printer, but some of the items are optional, meaning that if you've already invested in your own different hardware, you can use that too. So here is that hardware list. As you can see, the iPad, we have a card reader and a receipt printer that are required, but then some other items like the kiosk, the cash drawer, the scale, and the scanner are recommended, but you don't necessarily have to go with the recommended pieces that we give you. SpeedQueen also has some optional kiosks. So the first kiosk that we have is what we call the value center. So basically, we recognize there are certain customers who maybe do not have a credit or debit account. They prefer to pay cash. So what the Value Center does is exactly what this video is showing, where customers can download the mobile app and use the Value Center, scan the QR code, add cash value to their account. So again, it's fewer quarter collections. These customers earn rewards, but instead of using a credit or debit account, they're simply using cash. We also have our newest piece of optional hardware, which is our payment center. So our payment center does everything that the value center does, but it ultimately replaces a smartphone, particularly if you have customers that don't have a smartphone. So they can walk up to the 15-inch touchscreen at the payment center and interact with it just like it was their smartphone. So they can do things like select machines. They're going to select their cycle modifiers. It prompts them just like the touch control. They'll do everything right at the kiosk, and then they also will make their payment at the kiosk. With the payment center, they have the option to pay with cash, credit card, EBT if that's enabled, or they can actually set up an account through the payment center and use it similar to how they would their smartphone. The last piece tied to SpeedQueen Insights is our marketing assets. So one of the things that we do provide within the SpeedQueen Insights portal, if you click on that Q logo and then click over to marketing, we have a bunch of free marketing resources available for store owners. We have things from signage, videos, social media guides, basically anything that you could need to help drive mobile adoption, we have available. You don't have to use our assets. You can use them as a template. You can customize. But the whole thought is to give you the tools, and instead of reinventing the wheel, you can leverage some of the marketing material that we have. So now that we've spent some time looking at the different technology, we want to share a real-life case study to show how technology and different levels of the technology has impacted a store owner's bottom and top line.
Quantum Touch was launched, we really thought that there was an opportunity here. The touch is an easy transition. We're used to using touch screens on our phones, on our tablets. I think this is just a natural progression. The customer, unless we told them, didn't really know what they were getting for Ultra or Deluxe. Now they're able to see what they're paying for. The reception has been just overwhelmingly easy to use. The functionality is there. So this is the approach screen that the customer would see when they're walking up to the machine. They can select their cycles, their temperature. Here's the additional cycle modifiers. It gives a short description of what each one is. And we've kind of set it up here a la carte, where you can set these up as packages. Say, for instance, you wanted to package a pre-wash and extra rinse together, then that would add additional money to that VIN price. Or you could set it up a la carte like we've done here. They could pay via coin, or they can pay mobile. At least our philosophy is to take your money any way you want to give it to me. This allows the customer to choose what's best for them, because not every customer wants everything. Some of our younger customers that value time are choosing to pay more for a quicker cycle so that they can get in and out easier. So they're actually buying their time back. And if you can give them the options, it enhances their experience, which will ultimately lead them back into your store, and that's what we're really after. And all the data that is generated at this location is backfilling the cloud. What cycle modifiers customers are using, what cycles they're using, what time of day they're coming in to use those. By upgrading to Quantum Touch versus Quantum Gold, the return on investment is within months. Roughly 60% of our total revenue is via the app. We're now 3 months into the change out, and each month is getting stronger and stronger. Prior to the switchover, we were roughly $10, $12 per customer visit. Now, because of the cycle modifiers and an increase in pricing as a result of changeover and equipment, that's more in the 13, 14, 15 average. So that has really amounted to a significant increase in the top line. We're able to offer things that none of the other competitors are able to do. This is truly a game changer. I have not been this excited about a SpeedQueen product in a long time.
So as you can see, Nick's video, I think, does a really good job of showing a real-life example of the impact adding different levels of technology can have on an existing store, and even obviously can have on a new store. So the next thing that we're going to jump into is a competitive comparison. And really, when we talk competitive comparison, we're going to spend a couple of minutes debunking some myths that are out there about different pieces of technology. And then we also want to spend some time making sure that as you guys do your due diligence on technology, whether it be SpeedQueen's technology or other brands of technology, you really are aware of these different features.
Exactly. So we think it's important that everyone scrutinizes everyone evenly whenever you're trying to make a smart business decision. Making an investment, you want to make sure there's a return on your investment, and whether or not you choose SpeedQueen Insights or Quantum Touch as your solution, it's important to always think about a lot of different things. So one of the things that we have heard are customers cannot see the price when walking by machines. And we thought that was important to claim as true and false. And that's because although there is an approach screen, you have the ability to customize your options within the Quantum Touch software. And so you can turn off that approach screen and allow people to see the cycle selection screen along with the price right when they approach the screen. So really,
yeah, the other cool thing too that I want to chime in about is if you keep that approach screen, you have the availability of customizing where it says washer ready or dryer ready. So some store owners will put the base price in, as well as you can also fill it in with different marketing messages or brand messages too.
Right, exactly. So the next claim is it isn't clear how to navigate back to change your selection or the price. So I have had to teach people who have never used a smartphone before to use a smartphone. And I can tell you it's never a job that any one of us wants to do. This is substantially more simple than that. So just on this screen, this is an example of the screen right before you click the pay button where you're selecting cycle modifiers on a tumble dryer. So we have two different options here, reversing tumble and anti-wrinkle. This user has selected reversing tumble, which is why there's a checkbox or a check mark next to that option. I'm guessing if you wanted to add the anti-wrinkle feature, you would just click the plus icon, which would then highlight that to the light pink, and that plus icon would become a check, and then that 25 cents would be added to the payment needed to satisfy the vend here. Also, if you look in the upper left-hand corner, there is a very large back button, which I know if I want to select an additional cycle, I could always change it if I needed to. So a little bit debunked here, I would say. Do you have any other comments there, Aubrey?
Nope, completely correct.
Okay, sounds good. And then the next claim is it's hard for customers to see how to change the language. We've made some improvements here. Before we were using the universal icon for language, but now we've changed that to flags. So the use of the flags brings up the language selection screen on the right third of the screen, and you can scroll up and down this menu to predefined languages that you want for your customers to have access to. Because there are over 30 languages available in SpeedQueen Quantum Touch machines, and if your customers only speak a majority of them 3 languages, you definitely don't want to have them scrolling through all of them. So again, one of the things we pride ourselves on is the customization options with all of our equipment, not even just Quantum Touch. So now Aubrey is going to talk about key differentiators, and again, this is really important for you to consider. Whether or not you choose SpeedQueen Insights and Quantum Touch as the next thing for your business, these are all very important for you to understand when making an educated decision on things that could impact your business. So Aubrey, take it away.
Yes, Dustin is completely correct. So we're going to talk about these 4 key things, kicking it off with owning your float. So for those of you who are not aware of the term float and what it means is basically if a customer comes into your store and adds value, whether it be on a loyalty card or a mobile account, who owns that money? Who owns that float? And this is a really important thing to ask and do your research on. With SpeedQueen Insights, you own that float. As soon as a customer puts money on their mobile account, that customer can only use that money in your store or stores. It belongs to you. For some other payment solutions out there, that payment manufacturer owns the float. So why does this matter? Think of it as a gift card scenario. So similar to if you get a gift card to, say, Kohl's, it's $50 gift card, you only spend $25, you have $25 remaining. Same idea with a laundromat. If a customer adds $50 to their app, $50 to the loyalty card, they have $25 remaining. May not seem like too much, but looking at other retail industries, retail in general, we know that on average, there's 10 to 19% of gift cards that are not being used. 6% of that is never ever used. So in the last 10 years, that's amounted to over $1 trillion of floats and gift cards. I know that I've talked to store owners that have shared their float amounts with me, and it gets to be a pretty substantial size. So just make sure that as you're doing your research and your due diligence on payment solutions, that you're asking the questions about float and who owns the float, and make sure that that's something that you're definitely wanting to consider, that you own it versus giving that money to somebody else. The next topic that we're going to touch on is dynamic rewards programs. So before we dive into laundromats, we want to take a second to talk about rewards programs in general. So the first one that we're going to talk about is Starbucks. So Starbucks started using their mobile app and rewards programs back in September of 2009. The whole idea was to get people to drive past other local coffee shops to come to Starbucks to get your points and earn free coffee. To date, Starbucks now actually has more customers that pay for their coffee with the Starbucks app than using cash, credit, and debit all combined, which just goes to show if you have a really robust rewards program, not only can you change customers' buying behavior and choosing your brand versus another, but you can actually completely shift the way that they buy. The next brand we're going to talk about is Delta. So Delta has some of the most dedicated travel customers simply due to their rewards programs. So I am guilty of being a Delta fangirl. I will take flights that are at inconvenient times and maybe more expensive than others simply because I want Delta Sky Miles, which earn me free upgrades, free drinks. But it just goes to show.
Not for business, though, right?
Definitely not for business.
Okay.
No.
So I'll have to let your boss know about that.
Next up, Quick Trip. I'm going to let Dustin talk about Quick Trip.
Yeah, Quick Trip is a lifestyle brand, and it also just happens to be a gas station chain. Anyone who survives in the Midwest, I say survives because winter is coming. The Quick Trip brand is something that is strong in our area. They also released a rewards app that allows you to check in and accumulate what they refer to as visits, which then you can take those visits and apply them to discounts on your gasoline, deals or free drinks or food from their hot bar. If you follow them on Facebook, it's one of the most hilarious social media pages I have ever seen. Really some awesome marketing from that team. And they've just done a really good job of redefining what going to a gas station, something we all do all of the time, what it means to customers. And because of that, their customers are now very loyal to Quick Trip. Just like Aubrey and Starbucks, they will drive past many gas stations and drive farther just to go to Quick Trip in order to take advantage of that. Not only that, but you can actually get Quick Trip food delivered now, which is...
Really? I didn't know that.
You no longer do you have to even get out of bed to get Quick Trip sandwiches. So
with all of that in mind, what SpeedQueen has done in developing our rewards program is we have really looked outside of the laundry industry to other brands like Starbucks in developing our own really robust rewards program. So within SpeedQueen Insights, store owners can set up customizable rewards programs. We have a couple of options. First is usage rewards. Every dollar a customer spends, they get points. Points give free dollars. Deposit rewards, incentivizing mobile deposits. Rewards based on time of day or day of the week. Think Starbucks happy hour specials, as well as machine type rewards. So rewards based on the different machines customers are using. We also have an auto reload feature available. And the last rewards option we have is what we call a sign-up bonus, where if a customer downloads the app, they automatically get a sign-up bonus. And store owners can limit the number of people that get that to create a sense of urgency. The other nice feature within SpeedQueen Insights is while this is completely customizable to each of you guys as store owners, we do have best practices, tips and tricks, step-by-step guides. If you don't want to reinvent the wheel and you'd rather utilize a rewards program that you know has worked for other store owners. So outside of rewards, the next thing that we want to touch on is a technology solution being factory installed and wireless, which SpeedQueen Insights is. So why is this important, or why does it matter? First thing is it allows both your technology and your equipment to be provided from one single source. So there's no more back and forth if it's the machine issue, the technology issue, the card reader issue, it all comes from one place. The second thing is it eliminates the need for hardware installation time. So again, there's no drilling of holes, no adding anything on, and there's no upfront cost to that hardware, leaving you more money when it counts. And then finally, it's wireless, so there's no daisy chaining from machine to machine, no complicated connection, no drilling of holes. So it just makes the entire process simple and easy to give you back more time and ultimately more money and saving upfront costs. So the last thing that we're going to touch on is our customer relationship management. And honestly, I think that this is a really exciting thing. We know that on average, 36% or more of laundromat owners do zero marketing. And really, I know it's, as a small business owner, you're juggling a lot of things. And if marketing's not easy, you don't know it's working, it's just a big time commitment. So with our CRM solution, we tried to take that piece out of it to make it really simple and give you a set up and forget it marketing platform. So why does CRM and marketing matter? When you look at other industries and other areas using CRM platforms and marketing platforms, statistics show that for every dollar spent on email marketing, it's $51 in revenue, which just goes to show email marketing and digital marketing has an impact. In general, companies that started using a CRM saw their sales increase by 29%. So I know these are great statistics for other industries, but what does that mean for a laundromat? So looking at some case studies, the first one we'll look at is a store that saw an average increase of $2.89 per customer per visit. In that store, they were leveraging Quantum Touch, SpeedQueen app, as well as our CRM platform. Another store example we have had an increase of $1.51. And there they were using gold equipment, but the SpeedQueen app and CRM, which just goes to show as you're leveraging different parts of our technology, it definitely has an impact on your business. So we do have a bonus material that we're going to share with you. So I know I touched a little bit on the free marketing available for people within the Insights portal. We also wanted to make sure that you all were aware of our SpeedQueen marketing shop. So if you go to shop.speedqueen.com, we have a ton of marketing assets that you guys are able to customize and order right through this shop. So everything from aprons, polos, laundry bags, signage, machine instructions, we have available that you can download, and then you can add your own logos and do customization. So it's a really great resource for any of you guys looking for a source for marketing materials for your laundromat. So again, make sure that that's something you take a look at. Our handouts should now be loaded, although I think they were loaded from the start.
They did. We went rogue.
And with that, that concludes the presentation portion. So if we want to switch over to our general Q&A.
So I just wanted to recover that we talked about the different levels of technology available through SpeedQueen Insights and with the inclusion of SpeedQueen Quantum Touch. We talked about the innovation that has happened and the quick stats about the technology adoption rates that we've been seeing with our systems. We talked about the 5 common pain points that a lot of you were able to relate to in terms of the laundromat being a laundromat owner and the kinds of situations you're having to deal with. We wanted to go through the ease of implementing the technology in your laundromats, as well as give you some competitive comparison, those key notes to consider when making a good decision for your business. So now